Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Chapanitas, for your help. I appreciate it. Hi, Gloria C, Dorado, Shirenzi, Petra Moreira, sorry. Elizabeth Martinez, I hope everyone is well. I wish I could go down or down the line, but unfortunately I can't. Today is Tuesday. So I feel, well, I'm going to go with this one first. I just read that Elon decided he's no longer going to spend as much money as he were or as he did this past election cycle, 2024. And it feels like to me, Bunny Young says, thank you for reading. You're very welcome, Bunny Young. He's unhappy because basically Republicans want him gone and he's aware of it. However, unconditional love, Taro. So this guy is not a happy camper. That doesn't mean he won't go back because him and the Republican Party, they believe in the same baloney, racism, hurting others. And then I just read somewhere the title of an article of him saying he doesn't understand why people hate Tesla because, he didn't do anything wrong. I think this guy needs a reality check. Anyway, but my prediction is at the right time, he'll go back begging them because he has more in common with them than with anyone else. Mean-spirited Trump, Stephen Miller and company. Having said that, I'll move on. Do you guys remember I told you, I believe it was May 12th, I found the video this morning. I had to go and search for the video where I told you the Qataris royal family that wasn't their initiative, okay? Giving Trump the plane wasn't because you know what, we're gonna give him a gift. No, you guys, I remember I told you, Trump initiated it in a sense that I don't know exactly, but he told them, that's a nice plane you got there. I like that plane. And when I found the video, I'm going to repost an edited version of it. Yes, my friend, I don't know how many of you heard. The news broke last night or sometimes yesterday. I don't know exactly when. Trump approached the people. They did not initiate giving him the airplane. And now there is a senator who's trying to create some kind of, fantasy that the Biden administration started talking about purchasing the plane before Trump or the government. Guys, I'm not getting that at all. I am going to stick with what I said. My prediction and what I told you I was feeling intuitively. Trump initiated that conversation. Saying, nice plane you got there. They know he's a grifter, like I said. Validated, okay. The guy is just running around. Europeans are not going to give him any money, and they're not going to deal with him. At least at that level anyway, that intuitively. They have to deal with him because, so-called he's president of this country. But they want nothing to do with him. They think he's a fraud and a con. They have no respect for him. But because of this country, he's the president, they're going to deal with him. The people in the Middle East, well, they're all kings and queens and dictators. So Trump fits right in. That's who they are, okay? And that's why Trump is going to that area, and there's a lot of money there. They will give him money. They will use him too. Don't get me wrong. They all have long list of demands and needs to put on his desk, and he will be rewarded. So that's why he's going to the Middle East. And totally, that's what I feel. The next reference is the arrest the Congresswoman McLeaver. You know, this thing is getting very dangerous. I don't feel anything is going to happen to her. I don't see her going to prison, and I feel if whatever her name is, the assistant AG in New Jersey, the woman who used to be the traffic lawyer, who basically, I'm not quite sure if it's an indictment or if it's an accusation. I wouldn't be the name was just told to me and it escaped me. But anyway, you guys know who I am talking about. I wouldn't be surprised she drops the case at some point, because there's potential here for her to be left out of court. She cannot prove the charges she brought against the Congresswoman. And not only that, the Trump's behavior, as we know, he's short-sighted. No plans, they just act and do stupid things. And that's what's coming back to bite them. And she wanted to look good in Trump's eyes. You have to go on TV, you have to try to ruin people's reputation, you have to hurt people. That's why she did this. But it will backfire. That's my prediction. This is not going to work. And I know, like I said, I believe yesterday, Trump is looking for ways, his DOJ is looking for ways to make it easier to indict Congress people, and it's because he wants more, he can't control Democrats the way he controls Republicans. So with Democrats, he's going to try to harass them by arresting them, accusing them, and try to indict them, those type of things that he's going to do, okay? And also at the same time, he's trying to kill two birds with one stone. If we notice, if he can do that to mayors, senators, congressmen and women, well, we're going to say, well, if he can do that to these people, we should be in our best behavior. I don't think that's going to work. In fact, if anything, it's going to have the reverse effect. People will stand up. Americans already have the beat on Trump. They know what he's doing. And more people will take to the streets. That's my prediction. And that that Congresswoman from New Jersey, just like they dropped the charges against the mayor of Newark, Baraka, same thing is going to happen. Otherwise, Alina Habba, the name just showed again in front of me. Alina Habba would just, well, look more like like the fool that she is, and nothing is gonna work. That's my prediction. It's just gonna look worse for Trump, and right now he's desperate. The only thing he has left is trying to intimidate people into falling, and you got to do what I say. That's not going to work. And Republicans right now, I'm sure you guys have heard about the bill he has in Congress, the big beautiful bill. I believe there are 3 Republicans, Massey, and I just read a little while ago, and I feel what the person said is correct. The evaluation is correct. Trump went into a meeting with them this morning, and he was yelling at Massey and telling the others, don't be like Massey, don't follow Massey's example, something to that effect. Okay. According to what is written in the newspaper, this will have the opposite effect. And I feel that is true. And as I was reading that article, I didn't read the article, I only read the headline because I basically have an idea of what they were talking about. And it's going to have the opposite effect of what Trump intended, okay? And it reminded me, I told you, Congress will break into three separate group of people, and one will join with Democrat to go after Trump. Trump going into a room, you think you're going to insult people. Most of them are working with him intuitively, I feel, because they are afraid. But you can push your luck but so far when people say, okay, I've had enough of you. It doesn't have to be that many. It takes a few, and it's done. And this morning, let's see what happens. He didn't help himself. Intuitively, I feel the assessment of whoever wrote that article is correct. But it's just going to make accelerate my prediction. Accelerate the time frame when, intuitively, I feel Congress has already been divided into three or more group of people. Okay, it's a matter of when the group that's going to collaborate with Democrats, I don't know how that's going to be done, okay, to do away with them. It's a matter of when it happens, and I feel this morning he accelerated that time frame. And I'm sure he's going to continue to disparage people in Congress because it's going to get tougher, or continue to be tough going forward for him trying to get his bill passed. But this is not looking good for whatever, he's trying to get through. And a lot of Republicans are afraid. In fact, a lady, I don't know where she is from, she's a congresswoman from somewhere, a journalist were basically calling her out, asking her what is she going to do with the 62,000 constituents and 4 hospitals in the area that she represents by voting to cut Medicaid. Let me tell you, this is going to get even uglier. In fact, as I was reading that article, there is going to be a protest in front of that congresswoman's office. I believe they said this weekend. We're going to hear of more of those situations. And all those things are going to basically strengthen the backbone of a lot of Republicans to stand up and fight back against the Trump, whatever it is that he's selling. And he's not going to stop. As we go forward, Trump is going to get more unhinged because, like I said yesterday, they are afraid and expect them to try to arrest Democrats. They expect more of that. Every opportunity that they get, they will do it. And they will continue to abuse immigrants who are looking to not only to make their lives better, but I feel they help us by keeping costs low. Trump is going to continue to abuse them until the day when things go sideways for him, and it's coming. Also, I don't know how many of you heard. Biden was always a decent person. Regardless of what Trump said, he never really went on a rant against Trump. But Trump, the guy is suffering from cancer. It's a very challenging disease. They are taking on the opportunity. In fact, they're blaming Biden's doctors, and probably maybe Biden knew he had cancer. He was not talking about it. Okay, they are doing they are coming up with a whole slew of lies, trying to blame Biden for everything else as well, thinking that if they do that, disparaging Biden, blaming people in Congress and Democratic senators, asking them whether they knew Biden had cancer. How would these people know? But they are trying to blame these people, saying that they knew something was wrong with Biden, then they should have reported it. From what I understand, and it's possibly true because since they mentioned his name, Quigley is the only one who noticed that Biden mentally was declining. But I'll take Biden over Trump any day. One of you posted the other day, I'll take Biden over Trump, even if the only way he can communicate is batting his eyes, or even one eye. And you know what? I agree with that. Because our economy, the way it's heading, I'll tell you, it's not the economy is number 2 of things that are creating a lot of fears in me. First of all, it's the direction of the country, where Trump is heading. And 2, I don't feel the government, Trump regime, has much control of where this lands. And him and the people around him, and to the I feel, don't have the skills. Jerome Powell, the person in charge of the Fed, we know he knows his stuff. But we have an idiot in the White House, okay, who has no clue what he's doing, and he has a bunch of enablers around him. And look at what the path Trump has put the economy. I don't have any hopes on Trump at all to fix the economy. He can't. He doesn't have the knowledge, the ability, the skills, nothing. All he cares about anyway is what happens to him financially. And he's going to keep on raking the money until something stops him. And by the way, as I'm saying this, I've just read this morning, it's part of this, the criminality, okay, that's going on behind the scenes that we are not aware of. Somebody from the United States Military Academy at West Point, philosophy professor Graham Parsons, has resigned after 13 years, citing significant changes in the Academy's educational principle. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I've already said what the footing that Trump has put this country, but also the way he's going about attacking, using all kinds of lies, DEI and everything, the blaming, okay? And they're blaming DEI, among other things, in order for them to enact their policies. And we're in fertile ground right now for what Trump wants to do, but that's going to change. That's my prediction. But expect Trump and the people around him to get worse as we go forward. And to a degree, I don't feel the economy is going to get better anytime soon, meaning inflation, the cost of goods, and for at least to be able to stabilize the economy, I am being optimistic, at least another 3 years, or within the next 3 years, and then dig ourselves out. But they're going to have to stabilize what Trump has created. Come to think of it, if Trump was to last 3 years, he'd be out of office. Okay, so, but anyway, and to whatever, I don't feel Trump is going to last 3 years. I mean, not in office anyway, because what I feel is coming, a combination of things that I cited yesterday. He's not smart enough to survive it. And I said yesterday that the phone call he was going to have with Putin, nothing was going to come of it. I was right. In fact, according to headlines that I've read, European leaders were shocked at how Trump lowered himself, basically in front of Putin. He gave Putin everything Putin wanted. I'm just repeating because we've touched on those things. I didn't see anything good come out of it. The only reason why Trump is still supporting Ukraine is because he senses that he's afraid of the blowback, because he's unsure how Americans will react and people in Congress. That's basically why he's, paying it lip service. Okay, but and to what degree I still feel Ukraine will stay in the fight. European leaders will continue to do what they have to do to support Ukraine, because they know they are next. They can't afford to lose this battle. And people in this country, people in the House, are going to fight tooth and nail to continue supporting Ukraine. Without Trump's support, I don't know how that's going to work. But I feel if Trump was to walk away from this, it wouldn't be good. And people around him are aware of it. And also, I'm going to move on to a different topic. I just read this morning. Well, I didn't read it. I heard it on YouTube. There's a video I watched. I don't remember which one it was. They were talking about the Washington Post has an article. They are blaming the right people. And I've told you that, guys, that, and that's why I'm bringing this up. It was just flashed in front of me. Stephen Miller and Vance, according to the article, those guys, Trump wants to be king, and he's not going to go after people to hurt them. Those guys are being called out. They don't only want to enjoy the being called, powerful, and they don't go after people. They want to be a dictatorship, and they want to exercise, and everything that comes with a dictator. They want to exercise the power of a dictatorship, not only having the name. Trump wants to be king, he wants to be dictator, but he doesn't really care about going after people. And I told you guys that before. Well, Miller, behind the scenes, is president. It's Trump is just there as a figurehead. Basically, the article from the Washington Post has confirmed what I've been saying, because I've said that a number of times. And but I don't feel it's good for Miller nor Vance. Okay? And to what degree I feel, I don't know the law. I'm not quite sure what it is. But I'm seeing Stephen Miller in front of Congress and in court at some point down the line. It may be because of what they are doing. I don't know if some kind of violation in this country or something that they're going to do. Breaking the law to hurt immigrants, something like that. That's the best way I can put it. But my prediction is, and the not too distant, well, I shouldn't say, within the next 5 or 6 years, maybe less, okay? Stephen Miller will be in court having to defend himself for some of the atrocities he's committing. And I don't feel this is only going to be a criminal stuff, because they forget only Trump can do anything he wants. He won't be prosecuted. Trump is the only person protected. They are wide open, but they are doing these things hoping that they're going to, Trump will pardon them if anything goes wrong. But intuitively, I don't feel Trump is going to be around, nor Vance being in a position to help themselves, not help himself and Miller, among others. But those are the two that I'm being shown. But Miller, I'm seeing Miller in court and in front of Congress. It's on video. I have to search for it. When it starts, I will find my video when it's happening. But The point I'm trying to make is there is going to be a payback. A lot of people who have taken part in breaking the law and doing things that they're not supposed to, yeah, they're not going to get away with it. Oh my God, there's going to be repercussion for all those activities that they are doing behind the scenes that we are not aware of. Let me see if there are some questions. Raven Nicole says, will this regime order the Constitution be destroyed? They've been trying to do that without asking and announce we're no longer following it. Oh, well, they've been doing it. If you watch, well, I don't know how many of you, I saw a clip of normies testifying in front of Congress. I saw it right before I came on. They asked her that if she knows about habeas corpus. I don't remember the Latin name right now because I have a whole bunch of stuff crossing my mind. And she couldn't answer. And how long have they been? You think in her position, okay, she would know what it is and at least be able to explain it. She would look into it to, just in case she's asked. My friend, she went in front of Congress this morning. They asked her, and she couldn't give an answer. She was, oh Lord, it wasn't a nice thing. But we know she's not very bright. Yeah, and she proved it this morning that she's not. She didn't even take the time to get ready. And this, to me, should have been the first thing she looked at, okay? When you arrest somebody, you should give them a lawyer. I don't study them, but I listen to experts on TV. I have a basic understanding of what they are talking about. I don't have a basic understanding of the law, okay? But, I can repeat what they say. She doesn't even do that. That's how arrogant this woman is. But yeah, these people, they intend to continue to do what they're doing, and they are ignoring the Constitution. They're not going to change until us, the people, we rise up. And every day that goes by, I don't see how that's going to change. Christine says, Milo, did my grandma leave me some? Oh, I'm sorry, Christine. During the day, during my midday live stream, I only answer personal questions in the evenings, Monday evenings and Saturday evening, okay? So please come back this weekend. Okay. I'm looking for questions, and then I'll go talk about Didi. What happened to Barr? Exactly. Alan Lovell said, not to mention just about every resident of the U.S. have weapons. Well, yeah, many people have more sophisticated weapons than police officers. That's very true. And I think, that's one thing they know. And that's why, because I've mentioned this before, they are somewhat hesitant. And my example was in Haiti, when those dictators took power. Haitians have machetes. You can't fight an army. They're shooting bullets at you from a mile away with machetes. So it's easy to take over and control the population. In this country, oh my God, some people have, 10, 20 guns, all different calibers and type. It's crazy. That's why Trump, and the people around him are hesitating. Otherwise, believe me, they would have been more brutal and going after Americans, citizens. Yeah, okay. So you're right. And let's see. Arlene Lovell says a lot of things would have to fall for Trump to be a dictator. First, X would need to have to complete loyalty of the military and the law enforcement of every state. Yes, that is true, but you know what? You're right. I was reading yesterday, and I think I mentioned it. Over half of the military don't like what's going on, okay? And the rest, some of my guys, and so because they were talking about what's happening at the Pentagon, okay? And some of them say they were, it was a matter of time before someone like Hegseth come in and do some of the stuff that he's doing. According to these people, they didn't like the way the Pentagon was being run. I don't see, those are the type of people that I've always been saying that, they are MAGAs in the military. And it's scary, but it feels like to me the majority in the military don't like the direction of the country and some of the stuff that Trump is doing. They're not into dictators, period, except for the MAGAs. So let's see what happens, but you're right. Okay. Didi time. A couple of people testified yesterday. I believe a gentleman by the name of David, he was Didi's assistant. The lady by the name of Dawn, okay, she was one of my favorite singers. Her and Aubrey O'Day. Aubrey O'Day did not testify, but Dawn did. And some people think that the defense attorneys were able to make her stumble or contradict herself. You know what? Intuitively, when I focus on the jury, they don't expect everyone who testified to be 100% honest or we call everything 100%. It feels like to me the majority of these people, if not all the jurors, are on their minds. And I think that's what it is. The government, the main character basically to prove the three charges they have against P. Diddy is Cassie. And it feels like to me, regardless of how those two people who testify, or three people, there's a young lady, she was a model and she used to be very good friends with Cassie. She testified that Diddy is a violent guy, and I believe she either sued him or they came to one understanding he had to pay her because he abused her physically as well. He either punched her or something to that effect, okay? But some of the comments that Diddy made, a statement that Diddy made, in fact, he said to Dawn where he came from, anyone who does something against him disappears. And intuitively, I feel there are going to be more people corroborating those types of statements, and they're going to give examples of what they witnessed, the violence that, as I'm saying this, he threatened other people, but he doesn't attack them. What a coward. Let's wait and see if someone ever said he tried to punch a guy. I bet you never, unless he's certain he can beat you. Probably, somebody he would, perceive as being meek. I guarantee you anybody that can stand up to him, he would never attack you. But the point I'm trying to make is the jurors are looking for consistency in the testimony of the people, of those witnesses. And it feels like to me, that's what the prosecutors are doing. They interviewed all those people, okay, whoever is going to testify. all the witnesses. They're not stupid. The lawyers, and they work for the government. Obviously, the government has, well, I'm not talking about Alina Haba now, please. Let's not go there, okay? But the people who before Trump came into power, they had some super attorneys. When they take a case to court, we know that the percentage of them winning the case is super high in the 90s. So having these people interview all the witnesses in the Didi case, okay, they know what they're looking for. They have 3 charges against them. One is a RICO, the 2 others, I don't remember exactly, one for prostitution or bringing prostitutes across state line, trafficking, and another one, I don't remember exactly. I have it on I downloaded it from, because I have to have a little more understanding of what's going on, but I can't recall the charges. But anyway, what they've done, okay, I mean, they've done a lot more, but they've analyzed all the statements the witnesses made. They know what they are looking for, okay? Evidence of violence and anything that can corroborate what Cassie and what they found, the videos and all that kind of stuff that they found to corroborate all those things. And you know something? My prediction is still the same. The defense attorneys, they're doing their best. But as of today, you know, the people who are the jurors, okay, they are following the same approach as the prosecutors. What can help Didi if somebody could prove beyond any reasonable doubt that everything that the government is saying, even if it's one person, Didi's lawyers could trip somewhere, somehow, to say none of this happened. As I'm focusing on them since day 1 to day 7, okay, I don't see anybody that has been able to refute anything that the government has put forth. And yes, it seems like I didn't see it, I didn't hear. They said Don got tripped. Don Richard? Yeah. Okay, she used to sing in decay, and that was one of my favorite bands. And I still till today, I don't understand why that band fell apart and they didn't make it big like any other major musical group, but that's another thing. Her, yes, they probably successfully tripped her, and there's something I feel intuitively, and I think intuitively I feel Diddy's attorney made a mistake. They were trying to, it seems like she went back after the bad experiences, her watching Diddy beating up Cassie, among other things, okay? She went back and asked Diddy to work with him. You know, when you're a musician, things are so hard, and you have a dream, you're following that dream. I feel they did not help themselves when they went after her, saying, well, if things were that bad, why did you go back and ask him to work with you again? What the jurors know her time. The woman she probably did not know how she was going to pay her rent, or calculated, like, I'm not making enough money. I have those skills. I have confidence in myself, and I can't find someone else to help me. So I know him. I work with him. Out of desperation. It can happen. It's like, when you need something, even if it's not money, and you're like, oh my God, I need this and I can't find it, or some information, you call somebody, You know, even an old boss, okay? You call the person and ask for a job. Not that you would want to, but you're desperate, you need a job. Not that you like the person, okay, but you know, you need a job, you need to make money. You took a chance. The only, like they say, the only thing they can say is no. That the worst they can do is tell you no. And I feel that did not help him intuitively yesterday when they try to basically box Dawn in the corner. I don't feel the jurors saw it the way they were trying to present it. Let's see what happens. I'm sure after this is over, the jurors will talk. Let's see what they say. But I don't feel, like I said from the beginning, they have to do something. They have to come up with anything to counter what's being, the case that's being presented against Didi. Okay, but they're not stupid, they're very smart too. Please don't get me wrong, but this is a very difficult, it feels like to me they're just throwing stuff at the spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. And it's not because they did not intelligent, they have to do something. And that's the best they can do. And to me, that's what I feel. And the way they're going about it, I'm sure they probably say, you know what, we're going to take a chance, we're going to use this approach and see what happens. But my friends, my prediction is still the same. If there is somebody who's been able to make a dent, or if I see the jurors waving, you know, I'll let you guys know. But right now, full speed ahead. They don't like Didi. I don't like him either, but I'm trying to be objective. I read on Instagram this morning, some guy by the name of Boozy or Bootsy or something like that. He's saying that, I mean, he posted something on Instagram. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it, but it was shocking to me. And I questioned his relationship with his mom, because people who kill women, most of the time, they have something against their moms. It's a psychological issue. Okay, and he was saying, Cassie, she used that, and her and her husband, they needed money. They sued Didi, but it's Didi's fault. Why did you have to treat somebody that way? But that's what Boozy was saying. It's all about money. You know, intuitively, yeah, the money is good. She needs to go to counseling. Let me tell you, intuitively, when I focus on Cassie, it's pretty sickening. She's a different person today than when she was dating him. And we all grow older, a bunch of stuff that I did. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, how come I didn't have 20 kids when I was 19? It's crazy. We don't know, we're stupid. And some of us are worse than others. You may be book smart, and that's what happened to her. So that guy who said, it's all about money, she's this, she's that, that really irked me, because I think it was wrong. I'm surprised a guy, if you love women, you're going to say something like that. But anyway, I digress. That's how upset I am about what I read. The thing is, the defense has not paid a dent on what's going on with Didi, in the Didi case. That's my prediction. Sorry, I went on too long. I apologize. Arlene Lowell says 20 million will pay for a lot of counseling. Oh my God, yes. That's why I tell people, you have no idea the effect of trauma, whether in childhood traumas, going through something like that. The person can, and the same thing when people who abuse kids. I was watching something on TV yesterday. A pastor had, no, not yesterday, Sunday afternoon. I don't remember which channel I was watching. I think it's probably Court TV. They had something about a pastor who was abusing young girls. These people are going to grow up. They're going to come after you. Yeah. So, but it's the same thing that Cassie is doing. And The trauma is intense. I remember a long time ago, I didn't understand fully what she was trying to tell me because, again, I was too young and stupid. I was dating this young lady who told me she was raped. You know, at the time, I was angry, but you know, over time, I gained more understanding. I still think about her today. I wish I could find out where she is because at the time I was young, I did not understand. I mean, I didn't say anything bad to her. I did the best I could, but I had no money. I couldn't help her, you know. But the point I'm trying to make is, even me, I didn't go through it, but till today, it still comes to mind, and I wish I could find her. I've searched for her. I don't know her. I don't know her last name. That's the problem. Okay, but she used to live in Yonkers, New York, and I was living in New Rochelle. I dated her for a little while, but I did not understand the trauma. She could not stay in a relationship. Okay, so regardless if you are raped once or a number of times, okay, the effect is devastating. And him using Cassie that way, oh boy, she needs a ton of counseling. She should get more than $20 million from him. Let me tell you, she's one damaged young woman, and thank God she found a husband who understands the situation, and she's married and she has a family. I hope she finds a very good money manager to help her manage that money, investing and do the right thing. She can be set for the rest of her life. Let's keep our fingers crossed, friend. Sorry, I got carried away. Not my president, said the group. Danity Kane did make it because Diddy didn't want them to. I agree. He did the same thing to a couple of other people, but I can't get into those details. But you're right. I don't know him. I have no connection with him. Thank God I don't want to have anything to do with him. But I know people, professional, who helped design his perfume, among other things. That was early 2000s. People who work with him, they told me, not a good guy. But you are right. Not my president. Okay, let me scroll down. I talk too much. Kenneth Billingsley is saying, Miller, will Trump be kicked out of the White House in 2 years? I think it will be even less, but I'm not quite sure what it is that's going to force him out. But I would be shocked this time, around this time next year, if he's still in the White House. Let's see what happens. I can confuse time, but the way I feel, guys, the economy alone, if it gets as bad as I feel it's going to get, my guy's going to turn on him like you've never seen before. Riot and everything. Watch. He's running around, lying to people, watch what happens. Raymond Di Pasquale said the federal attorney general in New York District has a 90%. Oh my God! 97% conviction rate. Yes. Oh Lord. So yeah, when I was explaining this to you guys, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know, but I'm seeing them. They like picking. They interview a whole bunch of people, and they pick from all those. The people they talk to, notes and everything. They know how to pick the right people. Christine said this is a RICO trial. Yes, racketeering. I don't know how this works, and I got the charges, a copy of the thing, and I see it has 3 charges. Oh, I don't remember the one that says RICO, racketeering. I'm trying to get a picture of it. Racketeering. Something with trafficking people, and there's another one. So I don't know if those 2 are part of the RICO trial. I don't know what a RICO trial is, so you guys know better than I do. I have no idea. All right, everyone, thank you for coming. Thank you, Chat Manitas, for your help. I appreciate it. If you would like a reading from me, the link to my website is below the video, psychicmedia.com, or please feel free to call me or text me on my YouTube number. We can negotiate a time that's good for both of us to talk. If you like the channel, please subscribe, and also don't forget to tap on the notification bell. Please give me a thumbs up. That would help me a lot. Again, everyone, thank you for your support. I appreciate it. I will see you all tomorrow unless something major happens later. But till then, bye.